In this video, we're going to talk about compound interest and depreciation. First of all, when you invest a certain amount of money, you expect that money to be worth more at the end than it was in the beginning when you invested it. That little bit more is called your interest. Now, what is compound interest? Compound interest is interest you get on your interest. Okay, I know it sounds difficult, but it's not. I promise. Okay, I'm going to go over a couple examples. So, a person invests £200 in a building society account, and that pays 4% interest each year. Find the value of the investment after 3 years. Okay, what do we need? We know that in the beginning it's worth £200. Each year you get 4% interest. That means each year it's going to be worth 4% more. It's going to increase by 4%. The question is, find the value after 3 years. Alright, let's have a look. We already know if we want to increase a number, and you know that the original 100% is going to be increased in this case by 4. So 100 plus 4 is 104%. And I'm going to use the multiplier to actually increase my original number. So after 1 year, I'm going to have 200 times 1.04, and that is 208 pounds. So that's what you get after 1 year of investment. Question is, find the value of the investment after 3 years. Let's see. My second year, what is it worth? I have after 1 year, it was worth 208. So the second year, I've got 208 in my investment, 208 pounds. 208 times 1.04 is going to be 216.32 pounds. You know that we round money to 2 decimals, right? Okay, so do you see that the compound interest here is you're going to use the interest that you have here, that £8. So the interest in this case is £8. You're going to reinvest that the other year, the next year, and you're going to get interest from that as well. So the question now is, after my third year, so the second year, the third year, or years, voila, you have 216.32 pounds, and again you're going to increase it by 4%. In the end, you get 224.97. So after 3 years, my investment is now worth £224.97. Sorry, so £224 and 97 pence. Now, it took a while for me to actually get that answer to 224.97. There's an easier way. You could have immediately found the final value by just multiplying 200 by 1.04, which is here, which is 208 pounds. But that 208 pounds, I multiply that again by 1.0.4. And then again, I multiply by 1.04. So actually, what I could have done is just multiply 200 by 1.04 times 1.04 times 1.04. That would have gotten me the same answer, because that's also 224.97 pounds. Okay, this here, 1.04 times 1.04 times 1.04, I can rewrite that saying that's 200 times 1.04 to the power of 3. And that will give me £224 and 97 pence. And it's no coincidence that the question asked for 3 years, because this here is the amount of years that you actually invest. Now, let's have a look at another example. Alright. When Gemma was born, her grandmother invested £200 in a building society for her. Find the value of the investment after 18 years if the interest rate is 6% per year. Okay, what do I need? So I could go on with, okay, the first year she got 200 times, okay, 6%, that means that's 100% plus 6% is equal to 106. So I'm going to need to multiply by 1.06. I can keep doing that. So my 200 times 1.06, and then that again times 1.06, and that again times 1.06. But that will take me way too long because I have to do it 18 times. So I'm just going to use the final value. I'm just going to use the formula for that. So what am I going to do? So after 18 years, it's going to have the original value, so your 200 pounds, that's not pounds, your 200 pounds, times your multiplier, which is 1.06, because it goes up by 6%, to the power of 18, because it takes 18 years. So after 18 years, I'm going to get 200 times 1.06 to the power of 18, which is 570.87 pounds. So the amount of interest is going to be, so the interest in this case is 570.87 or 87 minus 200, which is 370.87. So that's your interest here. Okay, the value of your investment is this. Your investment will now be worth 570.87 pounds. Okay, now this method also works for depreciation. Depreciation means it's the opposite of compound interest. Depreciation means that the value goes down every year. A very easy example is the value of a car. When you buy a car one year, the next year it's going to be worth a lot less than it was originally. So I also have an example for that. A car was bought for £14,000. So again, the original value is £14,000. Its value decreases by 8% each year. So each year it's going to be worth 8% less. Find the value of the car after a question, 1 year. Okay, after 1 year, my original value, 14,000, is going to be decreased by 8%. But decreasing by 8% means that your original 100% is actually worth less. So 800% minus 8% is 92%, which is 0.92. So I'm going to multiply my 14,000 times 0.92, which is going to be 12,000 pounds and 888, or 12,888 pounds. B question asks for after 5 years. After 5 years, again, I could do it all step by step, but I don't really want to because it takes way too much time. I'm just going to use the formula again. So after 5 years, I'm going to use my original value. So not this value, guys, not this. I'm going to leave that alone, not that. I'm using my original value, so 14,000, times my multiplier, which in this case is less than 1, because it's depreciation, so 0.92, to the power of, well, it's 5 years, so to the power of 5. And 14,000 times 0.92 to the power of 5. Of course, guys, use a calculator. Yeah, we're not supposed to be able, you're not supposed to do this in your head. That's going to be 9,227.14 pounds. Okay, now, and for C, easy question, 10 years. Again, I'm going to start with my original value. So that's 14,000, guys. Again, you go back to your original value. You don't use anything you've used before, anything you calculated before. No, the original value times 0.92 to the power of 10. And what do I see? After 10 years, my car is going to be worth £6,000 or 6,081 pounds and 44 pence. That's what it's going to be worth. So that's depreciation. In general, we actually have the same formula for both compound interest and for depreciation. So the general formula looks something like this. First of all, I'm going to use because it's a general formula, I don't use numbers. You know that by now. I'm going to use letters, okay? So A, sorry, not a small a, I'm going to use a big A. A0 or AO stands for the original value. Okay? Original value. AN, see that it's big N, small n, a big A and a small n, stands for your value after n years. So n is the amount of years. Okay? And we're also going to use R, which is the rate or your percentage that it goes up or down. So general formula. Alright, try to think of a general formula that uses all of this, guys. What are you going to do? Alright, in order to find the new value after n years, you're going to multiply your old value by either 1 plus or minus your rate over 100 to the power of n. That's what you do. Depending on it, if it's compound interest or depreciation, R is going to be negative or positive. For depreciation, it means it goes down, so it's minus 6%. When it's compound interest, it means it goes up, so plus 6%. So that's why the negative, and that's where the negative and the positive comes from. So now you're actually ready for exercises on compound interest. Use the general formula, guys. So the new value of the value after n years is your original value times 1 plus your rate over 100 or minus your rate over 100 to the power of n. Okay, good luck with the exercises, guys.